If you've ever spent way too long putting together a mood board just for your client to not get it, you're not alone. Even though I think building mood boards is super fun, one of the most annoying parts is that it does take a lot of time. And then the clients often can't put all of the pieces together and actually visualize the result. Not to mention all of the revisions that you have to go through. So today I want to show you an easier and faster way to build mood boards that actually communicate your vision without overcomplicating your workflow. In this tutorial, I'm going to walk you through how to build a mood board in Rayon Design from start to finish. If you're new here, Rayon Design is the new gen effortless CAD tool for architects and interior designers like you and me, where you can go from A to Z architectural documentation in one collaborative web-based environment. Even though there is so much that you can do in Rayon Design, today we're just going to specifically focus on mood boards, so importing images fast, editing them easily, using their new AI tools, and collaborating with clients and teammates in real time. Now, before we jump in, you can go ahead and create a free Rayon account so you can follow along, and you can grab that free template linked in the description below. All right, let's go. So we are inside our template here. And again, you can go ahead and grab that in the description below if you have not yet. But I want to start off by showing you one of my favorite parts about this tool, which is the fact that it is web-based. And this just means that we can easily get our ideas onto our board from other websites. So because Rayon is completely web-based, you don't need to download anything or juggle files between like programs. To add images, you can simply just find your inspiration from any other website or your desktop or whatever. You just copy the image and then paste it directly into your Rayon canvas. So we've got this mood board started here, and I just want to show you how you could get some alternative images into here easily from the internet. So let's just say that I found this nice little inspiration image on Pinterest. So to get that onto my mood board, instead of like saving it to my desktop and then bringing it into my Rayon template, I can just go ahead and right click and copy image and then go back into my Rayon board, and we'll just say paste, and then it's just going to drop that right in here. And if we wanted to do it instead of this image, we could just kind of place it on top or delete the other one, or we could kind of make room for both of them on the page by easily just scaling and adjusting it that way. So now we've got two inspiration images, and sometimes I also like to add a little stroke to the outside of these images. So right over here, if you click on the image and add stroke, then you can see if I click out of here, it has added a little black stroke on the edge. You can also thicken that up right here. So if we wanted that to be a little bit thicker and more visible, so now you can really start to see it. Obviously that's maybe a little bit too thick, but you get the idea where you can kind of stack them on top of each other and really start building that vision. Now, additionally, for any materials or furniture or even hardware selections, you can easily do that same thing. So let's pop over into this other tab. So occasionally you'll find an image that won't let you copy it. So when that happens, I will just take a screenshot, and then again, you can be able to just paste that right into your Rayon account. So if I just take a screenshot real quick on my MacBook, and I just kind of close this in a little bit, and then I'm going to make sure that I copy it to my clipboard. And once I capture that, then I can go back to my Rayon board and just paste it. And you can see that we do have a white background going on here. So we can easily use the edit image tab down here to remove the background. So I'm going to go to edit image, and then we'll just say remove background. This is another really cool feature right here inside the web. And now you can see that it has seamlessly removed that background. You can also click this upscale right here. You can see the dimensions of the current image are actually pretty decent, but if it were really small, 200 pixels or something, you can use this AI tool to upscale your image to add pixels to it, and then it will be a little bit clearer. So once you're done, you can just say done, and you can see that we've got our image right here. And if you want to rotate it or do any other adjustments, you can go back into the edit image right here and adjust your exposure, contrast, saturation. So depending on how you want it to appear on the mood board, you can just make all these adjustments right here. So I'm going to hit done. And then lastly, I'll show you how to get a material in here. So you can see that we've got this nice little marble material, but let's say that we wanted to show maybe an alternate. So we've got something a little bit more dramatic here. I'm just going to right click and copy image, Then we'll go back to our rayon board, and I'm just gonna paste it right in here, and you can see that it just came straight in. Now for this particular image that I brought in, since it is a rectangle, we can actually just go ahead and crop it instead of using our background removal tool. I'm just going to hold down my command key and just kind of scrunch in the edges here. If you're using a PC, you would hold down your control key. But this is just gonna help us to crop the image to where we want it. And again, you can just scale it and place it wherever. And then we will just go into our layers panel over here to make sure that it is sitting behind. Let's see here, these are all in photos, so we'll make sure that we're nice and organized here. Grab all these and put them into our photos. Okay, so now that I've got this one selected, I just wanna make sure that this piece of decor is at the top because we want that to be sitting on top of what we have here. So you can just kind of reorganize your materials however you need to here and make it make sense. So that is how we can easily get other images from the web into our mood board to kind of start really building it and making it as communicative as possible and explain our vision as best as possible. So whether it's, a product source, a reference image, a vendor link, it just keeps everything organized and it makes your board a lot more useful later on. Now, I've already talked about the AI tools such as the background remover and the upscaler, which can either remove the background or upscale grainy or low resolution images. So that is also AI. However, they also have this new AI panel over here that you can ask it to manipulate images that you have in here by either adding something to the image or changing the color of an image or changing the color of something in the image. So it's going to be a little bit experimental, but let's just see what we can do with this kitchen image that we already have in here. So for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm just going to delete this other kitchen image that we have in here, and we'll just use this one that's already in the template. And first, what we're going to do is, again, make sure that we're over in this AI chat panel over here. We want to make sure that we're using the selected image. So I'm going to say use selected image, and you'll see it kind of like populate right here. So that way the AI knows which image we want it to manipulate. And let's start off by changing the color of something. So let's maybe change the color of the marble to, it's kind of like an off-white right now. Let's maybe change it to more of like a gray, like more of like a concrete. So let's say change the marble countertops to be gray concrete, and then we'll hit send, and it's going to think for a minute, and then it will give us our results, and we'll come back when it does that. Okay, so previewing the image that it just came up with, it doesn't look like it did enough of a change. So let's actually ask it to make it like a black marble countertop, and then maybe that should be a significant enough change for us to see. Okay, so we'll make sure that we're using our selected image, and we'll say make the kitchen countertops black marble. Okay, so clicking on the preview here, we can see that it made these kitchen countertops black marble. If we wanted to, we could also specify to make the island kitchen or the island countertops a black marble as well. But let's just say insert image, and we can go ahead and put that on top of our other one and use this one to continue making some manipulations. So if you can see here, we have like a nice black marble countertop on these cabinets, which could have taken much longer using some other sort of photo manipulation tool. So we can do this right in here in Rayon, which is amazing. Let's try to swap something out. I'm going to, again, click on our image. I'm going to say use selected image, and then let's try to swap out the wall sconces. So let's say replace the wall sconces with modern. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I want to tell Rayon to replace these wall sconces here with specific wall sconces that I found online. So I'm going to attach that image here, and I'm going to just say replace wall sconces in kitchen with modern gold wall sconces, and we'll see if it can understand that, I attached the wall sconce that I wanted to use. Okay, so I can see that it is generating my image here, and it did actually grab the screenshot that I uploaded. Now, when it allows me, I'll click on the image and we'll see how good of a job it did, but that's pretty cool that you can actually like add a reference image for it and it can understand like to take these wall sconces and replace those with the wall sconces that we added. Okay, so I can say preview here and yeah, it looks like it just placed those right in there. Now it looks like it did crop the image, which is okay. So let's just say insert image. And now we could almost kind of have this as like an alternate, if that makes sense. So maybe we could just kind of crop that in, and this could be another version with different wall sconces. Whoops, shrink that down. So that's pretty cool. You can give it like an exact image, and then it even looks like it kind of put them in perspective, in the correct perspective of the way that we were looking. So all you have to do there is just make sure that you have your image selected and then add in a reference image, and you might have to play with the wording a couple different times just to make sure that it, you know, understands, but pretty cool that it can do that. You can also ask it to adjust the lighting or the mood or whatever. But the one last thing that I want to try here is adding a person. So I want to ask it to add person cooking in the kitchen. Let's use the selected image. I'm going to say add a woman wearing an apron, standing in the kitchen, or maybe cooking in the kitchen. And it will take that image that we have selected and it will hopefully add a woman in an apron cooking in the kitchen, which will just like add a little bit more storytelling to our mood board. All right, so if we click preview here, we can see that it added a woman in an apron cooking in the kitchen. Like, how cool is that? And we can just do that all right here inside Rayon Design. So this is just such a huge help for helping clients visualize your space without like needing a full rendering at this stage of the project. So once it finishes up, we can just say insert image, and then again, we can actually just, at this point, we can go ahead and delete these back ones and enlarge this a little bit. Now again, let's go into our layers and make sure that we pop that one. You could even just kind of pop that over here. Maybe we'll move this one above there and just kind of like start stacking things so they look the way you want them to. And I love that we were able to just adjust a couple things about this inspiration image without actually like, again, doing a rendering or anything like that. So huge help again at this stage in the project. So lastly, I just want to show you another major win with Rayon, which is the fact that you can communicate and collaborate in real time right inside of the tool. So you can invite teammates, stakeholders, they can add comments, annotations directly right onto the board, and then everyone can kind of work together in real time. So instead of like going through long email threads or, you know, confusing markups in like Adobe or something, it's right just inside this tool. So when you're ready to share with your client, you can create a URL presentation. So to do that, we are going to hit share over here. So I'll say share, and it's going to open this up. You have a couple different options here. So you can type in their email and select them as an editor, viewer, or even admin, and then it will invite them. You could also just click this public link here, which will give you a link that you can then copy and just send to someone so they can either view it, duplicate it, or ask to edit it. And then you can also go over here to the presentation tab and say that you can publish this as a presentation. So then you would hit copy here and then send that to a client. And what's going to happen is that's going to literally create a presentation. So it will look something like this, where it will take them to a web page where they can just kind of like click through the different pages. It's more of just for viewing and not necessarily collaborating. But if you do want to collaborate, then giving them access and allowing them to place comments on here can be super, super useful. They will be able to open it on any device, and then they can view your work and give feedback really easily. So that communication is just a lot faster. So today we covered how to quickly import inspiration images, edit, scale, and adjust your visuals, use AI to enhance and manipulate images, and collaborate and present mood boards seamlessly, all using Rayon Design, the new gen effortless CAD tool built for architects and interior designers like you and me, where you can go from A to Z architectural documentation in one collaborative platform. If you haven't already, make sure you create a free account and grab that free template link below. And if this was helpful, please let me know in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more design and workflow tutorials. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.